give it like a intro in 10 seconds, how would you do it?
If I had to give an intro in 10 seconds,
Yeah.
like, hi, my name's ZodiacalVoid. You may know me from the free Zodi thing. I have my own YouTube channel. I stream partially once in a blue moon, but I'm looking to build up my I don't know, that'd be lame. That's too much self-promotion. It'd be like, hey, this is ZodiacalVoid. You may know me from that guy that got banned from the Square Enix stream for saying Dash. Nah, I wouldn't say that either.
All right.
Hi.
All right. I'm recording. Okay, let's go.
Oh, you're recording? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's a good intro. All right. All right. So let's just talk about the force weapon stuff. Yeah, there's Zodi with me to talk about this stuff.
Hi.
So force weapons. So I'm just gonna start reading off like what it is. Like so. It's supposed to be new crossover combination attacks, replaces EX weapons as standard equipped weapon. I don't think that's gonna mean that you can't use EX skill anymore.
That'd be interesting if they did that, but that would nerf a lot of characters' viability. Like for instance, Kais, he's very
Yeah.
reliant on his EX buff for that HP up, and if they took that out of his kit, oh, that'd be painful. Because again, that's his HP up buff. That's a form of delay. That's his strongest move in his kit at the moment. And yeah, I would hate to see something like that happen to him. But
So,
I doubt that's, like you said, I have a feeling that's not what they mean.
yeah. I think it's just a new skill that goes on top of it. Is just supposed. I think what the translation is supposed to mean, or just like what the devs mean, is it's on par with like EX plus weapons in stats.
Yeah, no, that sounds more like a likely explanation to me as well.
Mm-hmm. So it costs 400 G tokens to pity. I think that's okay for now.
Yeah, that's fine as long as you're not constantly pitting them back to back. It shouldn't hurt your resources too
Yeah.
much. But yeah, eventually that's gonna like what do we get per content? Like
Um.
5K if that, or isn't it a little more per event? We'll get like the monthly thing from
Oh
the
yeah.
OPOP, but Global is not gonna have that, of course. Global gets like a very small amount in comparison, if I'm not mistaken. But I haven't compared the two, month to month, so I might be wrong. But it's gonna really give global players the pinch once it comes around.
Yeah, but they got time to prepare. They got like 8, 9
True.
months to just stock up on gems and what resources like they have been doing this entire time.
No,
But
that is true.
the drop rate of these are going to be same as LODs, so that's somewhat okay. I think that's fine as long as it wasn't like BT like rates where the like you rarely saw them. Then I think this is fine. Like you can still
Y-
most people still go after them with tickets.
yeah, no, I can still see that,
Mm-hmm.
being a thing as long as you don't have that the bad luck where it's like 700 tickets in and I got no LD. But again,
Yeah.
it's still an option. It's you're not throwing money at it or resources, so it's still an option. So
I
like
mean,
you said, I don't see that being a terrible thing.
yeah. Which means that I'm going to have to probably stock up more gems for like a brand when his FR weapon and BT Plus comes out. So that's going to
Yeah.
be pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking of chasing Kane because I've always liked Kane, but at the same time, it's just like, oh, we could have, and I know people always laugh at me for saying it, but it's true. They are protagonists. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know when Yuri, or Charlotta is gonna come out, so, or, some other wild card like Riku. Yeah, I like Riku too, but I don't know when they're gonna come out, and it just sort of, I don't want to say scares me because it doesn't really scare me, but it puts me a bit on edge and makes me think more about, pulling strategies going forward. Like even at the end of the LD era, I was very stingy with who I was pulling and using gems towards. The last one I did was Sights, and I nearly pitied her. So yeah, that took a big chunk of my resources, but I'm still doing a lot better than my global account, which has about like a very small fraction compared to my JP resource wise. And that's not even from spending willy-nilly. That's just pitying on everything I pull on.
I mean, for me, this is going to be like, uh, actually, I haven't even seen what the weapon or the actual trailer for Kane for like what they actually do because the trailer they showed very early in the morning was just Penelo, Warrior of Light, and Who was the last person?
Mog had a
Mog.
really good rework.
Yeah, and they
Like,
showed only their reworks and nothing else. They didn't even show like Boy of Light's BT plus like effects. They just showed a bit
yeah,
of the trailer, the new story trailer, and that was it. And the reworks, and that was it. And a bit of the new fight, but they didn't show actual any gimmicks or anything. They just showed reworks, and that was it. But yeah.
yeah. I think Mog might be the true champion of the banner because even during the LD era, I pulled for him originally on my
Mm-hmm.
old JP account that I lost access to, but he was good. A lot of people called him garbage. Yeah, he didn't have a huge shelf life,
Yeah, his animations were
but he
long,
has, yes, no, that is one of the things about him. He does have really long animation.
but I
He
think
has a
now his
follow-up,
yeah
which
his
is,
follow ups and damage now seem really uh
well,
what's it called? Not
um,
decent, but um
I would say, I'd say
consistent.
really good, personally. Yeah, very consistent, very good. Don't forget he also cleanses debuffs. I think
Yeah.
it's like two or three or something like that
Yep.
from the party. So already that's good utility right there versus, and I'm a big Pinello fan, so don't think I'm trying to run down Pinello here.
Mm-hmm.
Pinello's LD, dispels all of your debuffs are on you, on your party. It cleanses you. And she has, I should know this. Like I said, I claim to be a Pinello fan. I used her a lot. I think she has four usages versus Mog. He's doing it, if I'm not mistaken, on each follow-up. He's removing two
Yeah,
debuffs from the party.
his follow up
The,
and debuff removal is conditional though. Like if you have debuffs, he's gonna remove it, and
yeah.
if you don't, then he's just going to do his other follow up that does I forgot what it does at all. I think it's just damage or has a chance to confuse.
Yes, it has a chance to confuse, like you said. So he has confusion built into his kit. He has a lot of good things going for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's dual elements, but at the same time, that's never stopped a unit from being necessarily good unless they start putting, heavy elemental resistances in the game, which I'm definitely anticipating to see more of. Not happily anticipating, mind you, but it's something I just sort of a given at this point. We've went with how many months now without very many to little to none elemental resistances on JP. I want to say it's been since around Ifrit or Leviathan. But even then, with Leviathan,
We have
you
ways to
just
get
brought
around it now.
Rydia.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just
Rydia.
brought Rydia, and there went his resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had the universal imperil or whatever you want to call it, where anything is weak to water, even if it absorbs it.
Okay, yeah.
So,
But yeah, let's get back to the FR weapons. And so we have to use. So we're gonna get a new type of materials to upgrade them. They're called high power stones. A lot of people, or like I've seen some in chats and different discords, or some places that I don't want to speak of, aka Reddit,
yeah.
are like doom posting already. It's like, oh no, I gotta trade all my 20 power stones. No, you don't have to trade 20 power stones every single time. That's like, this is equivalent to like buying a high armor ingot with high armor tokens. You don't need to spend all the tokens to get an ingot, a high armor ingot.
Yeah.
This is another option if you're close to fully limit breaking the weapon. It's a way, but also you need 12 high armor power stones to fully limit break it FR weapon. So if you're going to be dumb, then yeah, go ahead, spend 240 power stones and fully limit break Kane's FR weapon immediately if you want to, and be influx it to everyone on your friend list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see people if they have a lot, if you're swimming in resources. I know a couple of people. It
Yeah,
may be beneficial to you, but in the long term, for the short term, but in the long term, it might not be a good investment.
definitely
Although I'm
not.
one to talk because as you know, I like to sphere my characters, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of regretting doing that now because at the time I was like, oh, look, it's my fave. I get to use my fave, give him a little extra power in battle. Think of where all those 12 power stones could have went towards. I could have been using them towards these weapons right now, but I'm
Yeah.
doing good on power stones, so I'm not too worried at the moment. I'm just gonna play it the way the devs intended, which would be, just slowly building it up, unless the game says otherwise. Unless we get to a point where you need a 12 out of 12 FR weapon, I just don't see it being an immediate, concern of something that must be limit broken at that moment.
How many power stones do you think you have on your account, on your JP account right now?
80, I have 81.
81.
That's
Damn.
actually the most I've ever had on my JP account.
Okay, so I got around 200-ish on my
Nice.
account.
Nice.
So that's okay, but I think I'm still going to not do the trade power stones for this because that seems very expensive. But
Yeah.
yeah, this seems
'Cause-
like if you very very close to limit breaking a weapon. Also, we get 4 of these high power stones once the after as a reward or just to, like they give us to us after the stream. So
oh, nice.
that's a way for us to get going, and another one of these um, new materials to use for the upgrading. So once you fully limit break a FR weapon, you'll get 2 4 stones, and the 4 stones are used in conjunction with character points or enhancement points to give characters additional stats. You need at least, I think you need 6 in total for one character to fully limit break them in total to full power. You need 1 4 stone at level 11 of their new board, which is like it looks like the passive list, but they give them stats. They give skill upgrades, and did you already look at Zeta's translated picture of like what Kane's upgraded? What is it called? Not crystal force passives.
I actually didn't see that one.
Okay, so I'll just quickly read off of them. So you have it goes up all the way up to 30. So from 1 to 30, you need character enhancement points, and then you need 1 4 stone at level 11. You need 2 at 21, and 3 at 30. And once you get a fully FR weapon, you get 2 4 stones. So you're going to need at least 3 FR weapons fully limit broken to get all these passives. So it's definitely going to be a very very long investment. Or I don't think they're going to release the whale pack immediately for this, but yeah, the
Yeah.
first couple so yeah, I'm just going to read through the passive. So for 3 13 23 and 8 18 28, they're going to be kind of repetitive bonuses that you're going to see. So for the first one, it's going to be force charge up, force charge gauge charge speed, so it's going to increase the speed of it at 3 13 and 23 the levels. And then 5 is something very interesting. It's going to be jump 3 force extension. So this is his skill 1. It's going to be another extension to it. So it's going to give him brave HP damage cap of only jump 3 when force gauge is over 80%.
Mm.
And levels 8 18 28, he's going to get HP damage bonus. So it's going to further increase HP damage bonus on your turns during the force time. So when you're at 80, I think it's when you're at 100%, this is when you get a massive damage boost. I'm assuming this is going to be similar to like the damage boost we get during summon. So it's probably going to be very significant once you have a fully limit broken character.
Yeah, no, that does sound like some massive upgrades, and I bet all Kane fans are rejoicing right now about how good they've made him finally.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they're making it enticing. Like I said, I was definitely anticipating on pulling for him because I do like Kane a lot. He was one of my favorites from 4, but I know usually early in an era they claim it's either wise or it's not wise to pull. Well, I say of course, go for faves, and it sounds like right now,
Yeah,
investment wise, hopefully this isn't another Onion Knight situation, but I highly doubt it is.
especially when we have
He
no
and he
idea who the other character is going to be afterwards, and there's only one character so far. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's who I'm concerned about. But at the same time, I do like Kane a lot because 4 was my second main series Final Fantasy game, so I do have some nostalgic attachment to that title for sure. Um, but I'm just worried that Yuri will be next because Yuri was the second game I ever played, and I would say I have a little more attachment to Yuri than Kane, but like you said, just the effects. I'm reading over the effects right now about, like you said, some of his FR abilities,
Yeah,
what he
gun your voice
provides to the
extension
party.
is like same thing as the jump, except it's for skill 2. You got Rising Die Force extension. I think that's his EX, right?
Yes, I want to say that's his EX. That's the
Okay.
one, of course, where he launches.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then wait, is that Rising Dive Force? Wait, is this Brave HP Rising Dive? Well, I
Okay,
think this is for
Rising Dive.
every. Wait, is it?
No, no, no. It's called something and Claw. That's actually
Oh,
his
Fang
EX.
and
His
okay.
Rising Dive Force would be, I think that's his LD.
Okay.
Because it's something and Claw is his
Okay,
EX
Fang. Okay, so
animation.
Fang and Claw is the next one. So they boost every single skill. They boost his skill 1, skill 2, LD, and EX, both with the same condition that if your HP that they gain a boost in damage and Raven HP damage cap if your force gauge is over 80%. So that's good to know that this is going to be somewhat easy to figure out for all, at least for maybe future characters. Like this is probably going to be pretty much standard for everyone. I mean, maybe the last two passes might be changed for some characters. Like I don't know if Kane's a DPS unit.
Yeah, I'd consider him a DPS off-turn damage unit, which is
Yes.
interesting. They gave him. I mean, I know why they gave him a BT because
Mm-hmm.
of Duodecim, but I know everyone else calls it O2, but I've always called it Duodecim. But since he was in that, he was an NT, so naturally, and he's a popular choice, so that
Yeah.
goes without saying. But it's interesting that he has it. Did they say how long his BT effect would be, or have we not gotten
No,
that
we
information
have
yet?
no information. That's going to be coming out later tonight. But
That's
yeah,
going to be an interesting one to see. I'm curious if they're going to give him the standard six, or like the 6 or 10 turn thing. It's going to be
I
shorter because
think
he
it's
has that
gonna.
jump.
Depending on how. From just the description, it just seems very generic BT effect. Like there's something called Dragon's Pride. If our abilities can't. Wait, no, that's some. Wait, what is this? If our abilities can't be used in a BT phase, but I'm not forced time. Oh, let's give a disclaimer that you can use it. The effect is just brave HP damage dealt, stolen overflow, HP damage cap up. So as long as I think for that, I think seems good. It's probably going to be long enough, like 10, 8, 10 turns, depending on how big the numbers are. But probably 10 turns. If if it isn't doing anything like significant, like super fancy and flashy.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm just
I
wondering
don't.
like what the FR like list like passive is going to be for like someone like a. I wish they did like two, like one for Ray of Light as well, so then we can see. Maybe that would have been too ambitious if they did two weapons at once, because that way
I
we could
mean,
have seen at least like a DPS and then a tank or a tank support, like what their passives would look like.
yeah, my guess is one of the reasons, like you said, they want to roll this out as long as possible. This is probably
Yeah,
going to be the thing for the next 2.5 years. I'm probably
yeah.
overestimating, but hey, it seems like that at the rollout phase.
I feel like they
Eventually,
can
they
like
start double up,
yeah, they probably will double
doubling
up
it up.
once like all the everyone has C90. I think that's maybe that's when they would speed it up.
Gen Yeah, generally they double up with a like a week or two or a month after a lost chapter that has, two weapons. Like during the EX era, we
Mm-hmm.
had two EXs, and then eventually we got two featured on banners, and then LD era, the same thing happened. I think it was around like a month after a Mid Italian came out, or whoever else was, or Dash. I was about to say who else was after a Mid Italian. It was Dash. I should know. I should know better. That's the name I said during the Square Enix stream. But yeah, I could see them doing that, but at what rate and when? That was definitely to be determined. And the lost chapter rate
Mm-hmm.
for you know JP lately has been interesting. It's not the usual. What was it? It was like 7, 8 months before, but
Yeah, I
since you
think
have less
they.
and less
Yeah, we have
characters,
less and less
it's been like 5 months or 4 months
Yeah, but
between events. I haven't looked at a calendar.
I think that's fine because I think lost chapters are slowly being faded out, and the intertwined wills is replacing it.
Yeah, no, I see that being a thing too.
Yeah, that's fine, but I
I
think
mean,
the main thing I want to know is what are the like how big of a significant boost in damage cap and Raven HP damage cap these passives are going to give on top of like ultimate weapons. because if you have an fully, I mean, I don't even have a fully ultimate limit
Mhm.
broken Ultima Spear or
I
even touched it, just base level.
Yeah, mine's base level too. It's not that I have any hatred towards any of the sphere users. It's just at the time I was prioritizing giving Kais, a maxed dagger. I was trying to give Yuri as best as possible. I was trying to get
Yeah,
Charlotta something.
I
I
just
am trying to work on Jagron currently.
yeah, I mean, I've been
There.
focusing on the swords and then slowly building up. I think I'm moving on. Wait, what the hell did I pick second? I think it was a gun. The third weapon
Oh,
I'm
nice.
gonna fully attempt to fully limit break, but yeah, I'm just gonna go all in for that. But
That is something I definitely will probably do on global because,
mhm,
again, like I said, my resources are incredibly drained. I'm not going to be pulling for the same units as I did before. But yeah, I do see a lot of investment in the gun, especially with some of the cheeses you can do with Laguna earlier on. Not
yeah,
quite as much. Once they start doing turn jumping, it's harder and harder for Laguna to do a cheese, but it's still possible, or at least it's still possible for a PT phase to take advantage of that trap.
for me, I'm just going to. It's mainly used for Vincent to just boost up his numbers, but I might contemplate selling the weapon and just resetting, get all the passives, all the materials back to invest into the spear if the if Kane becomes that good. Because remember, we have that once a month reset where we can sell an ultimate weapon, get the materials back, and then work on another weapon.
Yeah, no, I was contemplating on selling the sword I was using for Yuri, but then I remembered I could just slap it on Sierran because I might
Yeah,
just switch over to having an Aura bot, Sierran, Kane probably, and then somebody else of choice. So maybe Kais or like a tank. Like I knew I need a tank. I kind of really need a tank because I do have, like, for instance, I do have Zach. I don't have his BT,
mm-hmm.
so I never really used him, even though I bought him that costume on accident. Long story, but yeah, I still, I still haven't used him much. But yeah, it's I mean, it's gonna be interesting going forward, seeing like who's gonna get. Or no, wait, I have Warrior of Light. I'll just use
Yeah.
him.
A lot of
I might not be a
this,
fan of the guy, but I'll use him. I
a
have
lot of
him. I
this,
have his BT.
yeah, a lot of this info that we were just talking about is very, very bare bones. Like we don't know the specific numbers or anything. Just like an overview of like literally it came out last night. They
Yeah.
translated literally what's on the video and it's like as like minimum text as possible. Like we don't know specifics of anything other than what they just told us here. And like I'm pretty sure all of this, most of this is going to become more clear like in like 8 hours when the event goes live.
No, no, I agree. And
Yeah,
then, were there any like leaks about the boss HP thresholds? Because that might help us
something like
anticipate.
70 million HP for those tiny little generic looking floating eyes, which I
Is it 70 million each?
it's I
So are we
think
gonna?
it's something around there.
Okay, so then that's officially the boss with the most HP.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to
That's
talk
gonna be an
about the
interesting event.
yeah, I want to talk about the
Oh,
force gauge right now. It's like what do we know about it and how the mechanics
sure,
work. So we
sure.
know that the force gauge increases when enemy or allies act, and if it reaches max, allows the force ability to be used. And I think from the two images that is shown, it has like it can have be used most two. Initially, you can only use one, but I think it says here that initially it only has one use, but can be used up to two times if you at a certain limit broken stage of the weapon. So I don't know. This seems I don't know the way they're describing it is like going to be a little bit weaker than a BT plus like skill, but maybe stronger.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is gonna sound like such a new remark, but no, I'm not saying this is my definitive opinion on it. It seems like a, like you said, sort of like a BT that you can equip on every character, except you don't have a phase, you don't have a finish burst, but you have an effect. You have a
Yeah.
party-wide effect that can benefit pretty much
Mm-hmm.
everyone. Or I can imagine we're gonna get some, maybe, unless they're, because I think they're all supposed to be party focused, right? That's what
I
they said the theme of the
think
weapon tier
so. I
was.
think that's the focus of them is that you want. Well, I think most people are going to hopefully pull on Kane, and they're going to use either him or the new character coming up, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think most
Yeah,
people are going to pull for Kane because Kane's kit is pretty solid with his LD and
yeah,
all. And depending on how strong this force ability is and everything else, I think you just want to have at least one FR weapon and try to focus on leveling that one up as much as you can. And try to just get it for the party utility, kind of like how people just slowly built up the BT plus weapons over time, and then they just, I don't know, some people did like Ishtola and Zidane just for party utility because
yeah.
that's
No,
the new
true.
buffs. Because we don't know if this, I mean, it's probably not going to be needed for the first couple of fights, like the first half month or even second half of the month. If you have them,
Yeah, no.
cool.
I could see them even like if you had to use a friend, worst case scenario, I could see that still working.
Yeah,
All right. Like not as effectively because you still gotta set his takes him 3 turns to either set up his jump,
yeah,
or it takes him, one LD usage, a BT phase, and then I would imagine a FR, ability to get ramped up. But at the same time, I would probably just jump after his on his 4th turn.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting trying to learn his kit for me because I try to go for his LD, but it's like that's when I started the JP account or when the JP account that I have was given to me.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
around the time I got back into playing JP, so I used him for a hot minute, and he
yeah.
was pretty good. He helped me out with a couple events with my
Mhm.
Jagron Lena combo, but after a while, it was just like, okay, I need a tank. I need this for orb condition. So
Yeah.
I couldn't use him as much as I want to. So I couldn't give you the best explanation for him, other than he was a decent off-turn damage dealer
Yep.
that didn't require a BT phase to activate, and he didn't only get 2 skill usages, cough, cough, young, cough, cough.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think during the time
painful.
when his LD came out, we were still in the middle of like some pretty difficult Lufinia pluses, and when Transcendence 6 was just coming out, so those were some pretty AIDS fight to deal with.
Yeah, no, they were.
But yeah, uh,
They definitely were.
yeah. So moving on from that, force gauges. If force gauge reaches max, and FR is used, activates the force time. So this is like initiates an HP damage bonus, which increases HP damage dealt. Turn limit is also shown. Takes down only on player's turn. So I have no idea how long this is gonna last, but if it's as long as summon phase, then that's gonna be pretty relevant and
Oh,
pretty insane because that's just another phase of just doing an insane amount of damage. But the way they're describing this, it's not a phase where like you can continuously go and just like just rail on the bosses without them attacking.
gotcha. I didn't actually read that part myself, so I'm looking through some things right now to see if I can catch up on some of my knowledge. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
that is an interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Hmm?
this is going to be just a phase where it's like, hey, it's force time starting, okay, and then it's like, I don't know, this probably screen's going to look cool or whatnot, but the boss, I don't think the turnover order is going to actually change. But if it does, awesome. We got a third phase of dealing like damage to the bosses without them interrupting us, or a phase where we can just like do as much damage and try to like skip phases if we can, or to stack them on top of us at once to deal with them all at once.
Yeah. Did they ever say if you could only use one of those abilities per match, or
I
have
think
they not mentioned the specifics about that yet?
I'm assuming I don't think they explained the specifics, but I'm assuming if you have a force gauge, or I think you just need a FR weapon. I'm not sure how it's gonna be, but I think the FR, the force gauge on top of the screen is just going to be what was it? Yeah, I'm just looking at the Rem's second pick. The force gauge on the very top it looks like it'll just keep increasing, but it won't do anything unless you have an FR weapon.
Gotcha, yeah, because it
Yeah.
just raises more and more concerns. Not
Mhm.
trying to get off topic or anything like that, but you heard about the latest boss rush. I think this is sort of a relevant thing to mention. I
Yeah.
heard talks about it locking out characters that are below level 90, but to be honest, in this era, it's kind of hard to use very many that are below 90,
Yeah, I mean,
except I've
most of,
heard Pain. Pain's useful, and she's still level 80. I've heard a lot of hype behind her abilities, and her abilities to potentially cheese stuff, and for a six-man,
mm-hmm.
she'd definitely be great because you don't have to have her out on the field all the time.
Yeah, it's just
Although for her
poor
abilities, you
bots.
should have her out on the field, but you could also reposition her a lot in the six-man.
Yeah.
If you think about that, you can keep changing up what role she plays. So, but I'm not trying to go on about or anything. All I was trying to say is, do you see them locking out characters without FR weapons from future six-man fights?
Probably
Like how they're gonna
not.
do it under level 90.
I
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too,
I
because that
think
would be kind of
six-man
scummy.
parties. I mean, yeah. This is still like we're still in the dark for a lot of this stuff. I think because we don't even know if six-man parties. I mean, they said I'm not even sure if it's still going to be level 250 or not because they have their own weird mechanics. But the
Yeah,
next part
I
of
see.
like the translation was that
Yeah,
the new
go ahead.
difficulty and how they're
Yeah,
discontinuing some difficulties, but I'm not sure if they. I mean, it's still in beta. We just got out of the six-man party beta, so I
yeah,
guess we'll find out in the mid-month how what's the actual event going to be like after testing and all the feedback that the players gave to the devs about some stuff on what they liked and what they
true.
didn't like on it.
Yeah, no, it's just I was just more voicing like,
Hmm.
what if they did this, kind of thing. Not saying that I think it's gonna happen or it's
Yeah.
gonna be law, and I'm not definitely not trying to give Square Enix any ideas. I'm just saying like, hey, they did this. Do you think they're gonna do this? Like, it's just speculation. It's not what I think
Yes. Well,
definitively.
yeah. All this is speculation. I personally think that they're going to include some sort of like um force gauge mechanic into the six-man party. At least either
Oh,
you can have two difficulties or the straight up two difficulties at least. One with
yeah,
the
no,
Lufinia orb and then one with just the force gauge one because this to ease us into it more.
yeah, no, absolutely. And they said they're phasing out, the orb is only going to exist for Lufenia. You were
Yeah.
mentioning about difficulties. They mentioned there's no longer going to be a Cosmos. There's
Yep.
no longer going to be a Lufenia Plus,
Yep.
which is interesting. They're going to phase out Lufenia Plus. You would have thought
So
they would have
yeah.
phased out Lufenia.
So the so with Shinryu difficulty, it's gonna be level 300. Their way of replacing Lufinia orbs is gonna be with force gauges. The enemies have gonna have abilities that use the force gauge similar to Lufinia orbs. Whether they not, I hope they don't have some mechanic that says, "Hey, if my force gauge gets to 100, you die, game over." No, I
Well,
don't like that.
they did make a mention about um, allies under a certain HP threshold will instant die.
Okay, see, that's better than instantly saying, "Hey, you have a turn limit. You have this amount of time to kill the bosses. If you don't, you die."
Yeah, but then that also raises the concern. Hopefully, that's not a mechanic for all bosses, because there's certain characters
Yeah,
that like to lower their HP. Cough, cough,
Zack.
Arden, cough, cough. Yes, Zack. There's also, what's her face? Queen.
Yeah,
I don't think you
most of
want.
these. Yeah, all these characters. I mean, I think this is their way of trying to. I don't think it's indirect like nerf to Zack. Definitely indirect nerf to Zack at least, and them
Yes.
wanting to push Warrior of Light BT plus at least for this fight, or I mean yeah, the Warrior of Light mainly because he gets around these new mechanics and the new boss, which we'll talk about in a very like in a little bit, like it's the revealed mechanics of what the fight's gonna be, but yeah,
Sure.
so new difficulty is going to be the new highest difficulty is going to be level 300. There's no longer going to be Cosmos or Lufinia Plus. There's only going to be Chaos, Lufinia, and then Shinryu. So 180, 200, 300. So that's going to be interesting because if the HP thresholds of Lufinia stages are going to be just base Lufinia stages are going to be a joke.
No, absolutely. It's gonna be a couple turns and done deal.
Yeah, I mean, like so far with like, have you struggled with any of the what's it called, the Finja challenge missions for the Ultimate Weapon or quests or like
There
those
was
missions?
somebody that gave me a slight bit of a difficulty, but at the end I was still able to beat it anyways. I'm trying to if it was the Sephiroth one or not, but Assassinate could easily fix that.
I mean,
I don't think it was Sephiroth. It was somebody else.
the only
What
one that
was one
gave
of
me
the last
trouble
ones we
was the
had?
Kieran Lufinia with the mechanic, because it need requires someone to gravity their HP down to zero and give them a turn, which I'm impatient. Don't want to give them a turn. I just want to keep bashing their faces until they die. But
I carried bronze gear characters through that one that was that Lufinia. You know, the one with the boss that warps and all that.
oh yeah,
The
that.
one
Oh
that Global
okay.
had recently. That was
Yeah.
awful. I did it with like Vaughn, somebody else, and everyone's like, "You can't do it, Zodi. You cannot go through the stage." And I'm like, "You want to see me try?" And I got through it barely. I'll check who I cleared it with, but that was nasty. That was one of the ones that gave me some trouble. But then again, like
You could
I
just
could have
bring
used
in
different units.
Yeah, you could just bring
I could have
current BT
waited.
plus characters, use a friend support, and then just steamroll most of these contents.
Exactly.
Because most of these
Like,
old fights or even current fights, you they just HP is just not that big, and you can just like kill them before the orb is even irrelevant, or even they can. I mean, there's certain fights like the one you just said, where they can become they have mechanics where they just don't take any damage after a certain amount of turns if you take too
yeah.
many. But putting those like specific stages aside, like the fitness stages are very easy. You can just steamroll all of them. You don't even like most of the characters that I didn't build or have bronze weapons uh, like King. I just brought him to a stage, replaced them with the friend support like a Ramza BT plus character with a fully limit broken ultimate weapon, and slapped on two other characters or even just two other LD characters that I was going to get the quest for, and then done.
Yeah, like you said, they're pretty easy as long as you have a current up-to-date DPS or just somebody that can cheese the stage, they
Yeah,
should give you any issues.
you basically have five. You can just set up all your call abilities on the bosses, and then swap out the character you're like the weakest LD character that you're doing the quest for friend support, and then you're good to go. You have 5 turns of just doing uh killing the boss, and 5 turns is more than enough to kill most of these Lufinia bosses now.
Agreed. Well, speaking of that, this actually came to my mind. Do you think they're gonna phase out the challenge chaos for a challenge Lufinia?
Good question. Now they actually did address this. See, regarding those, they are going to add all those I think the bulk of the rewards into the Chaos and Lufinia stages now, so that you don't have to go
Gotcha.
back and forth. So you're not losing the rewards for those. So Lufinia stages, you're gonna get all the high armor and BT plus materials. Chaos, you're gonna get the what was I forgot. Was the pages now? Because Cosmos doesn't
Yeah.
exist, you're gonna get pages and nuggets.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
pages. Because I had issues with some of the stages not having cosmoses.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the later JP chapters, at least this is my observation, it could be flawed, don't have Cosmos challenges. So I was having trouble
Oh,
building up my JP account after a while because I was like, oh, I don't have any Cosmos stages to farm pages on. Great.
I mean, I'm happy
So
that this is gonna make content less tedious in terms of, hey, I beat the chaos, I gotta do the chaos stage again, or I have to tab out the stage, the menu, and go back into like another menu and load, connect, and go into the chaos plus or the chaos challenge.
yeah, no, understandable. That's just gonna be better in the long run because then hopefully you don't need all the units. I
Oh,
don't know. I'm gonna hold my tongue on that, but hopefully you don't need a full party of
I just
synergy.
noticed
Like
one. Oh wait, I noticed one specific point here that I forgot to mention. There will now be missions to use 3 synergy characters and no friend support in Chaos and Lifinia stages.
Chaos and Lufinia state.
Or Chaos slash
Interesting.
Lifinia stages. So either one of those
Uh,
two. So I think that might be where the mission for the BT token are going to be, and maybe for the something else. Maybe probably my guess the BT nuggets.
or perhaps that does sound like a likely suspect. I don't know why I could get my words out,
Mm-hmm.
but I could see them doing that. I could even
Yeah,
see them doing it for the high armor books or whatever their official name is. I
yeah,
could see them rolling that into a
into their
Lufinia challenge.
true. But this just means that they've like, oh, the Lifinia challenge for the Ultima weapon orbs were too easy because people were just taking fin supports, and fin supports are pretty busted.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. That's for. Oh, I hope not. Because if
mm-hmm.
that's the case, like you said, friend supports are pretty busted. They can help carry one of those bronze geared characters, and only have a couple of those on JP still. If it was
Yeah.
global, I'd be in a better spot. But JP, I have a lot of characters without weapons.
Now, do you want to talk about
But
the big thing, the big elephant that most people got riled up about when they saw the mock pass update?
oh, you mean the point difference that
Yeah.
standard people still get 5,000. People paying for the $5 Mog Pass get 15.
Yep.
And for once, I agree, the premium Mog Pass, they should have did this from the
Gets a
get-go.
bigger boost now. Instead of
Get
10k, you now is up to 30k. So they're adding more and
yeah.
more to the mock passes and the premium mock pass to incentivize players to buy them. Now,
Yeah, I was
I've seen quite a few hard takes saying, "Ew, it's more pay to win." It's like, how? No, it's not. I mean, yes, to a certain extent for the new content. If you if you've been spending all your character enhancement points, like a certain someone that we know, on every single
yeah.
character, then and be a dum dum about it, then yeah, you deserve to be cucked for this because you're stupid. But if you're but if you've been playing the game smartly, or at least not been, or you realize they can't build every single character, you have quite a lot of enhancement points left over. I mean, I'm sitting like over 200k. You probably are sitting at least 6 figures, at least, right, Zodi?
I'm actually at because like I said, my account was dormant for a while. I'm at 30K, but that's still not
Oh,
too bad. I'm not building everything, so keep that in mind. But there are some units that came back, like for instance, Sephiroth just got his BT plus.
mm-hmm.
I didn't have any character board points in him, so I decided to build him. I don't think my farm had anything in her either, so I built her up too. I gave her some character board points. I don't think there Realm didn't have any. I gave her some. So yeah, maybe I built up a lot of units recently. I have a Mog Pass. I'm not gonna say which one, but I have a Mog
Yeah, same.
character board points anytime soon.
I have
So
the premium mock pass, and I wanted it for the ultimate weapons, the faster ultimate weapon missions, and now this gives me another reason to keep them. And I prefer JP over global because I want to get all the BT tokens as well to keep building these characters because it's fun.
yeah, no, I agree. And at the moment, I do too. JP over global because at least I have resources. At
But
least I
yeah,
don't have to pity everything. So, like you said, it's the long-term investment. It's just being
it's
smart with what you pull for. You don't have to pull for everything. You don't have to max out every character.
if you have the money
Yeah,
to
a lot
spare,
of
just
characters
buy the
are
regular
great.
mock pass. Just don't. It's more. It's to help you out. It's to help make the game last longer and to support the devs because too much of this game is too free to play. I mean, some people are
Yeah.
like angry that we lost 20 tickets from the last event. It's like, oh well. I mean,
Hmm.
yes, 20 tickets is significant, but it's it's okay. We're not. It's not
Yeah, I
like
mean,
we're losing all of it. It's not like it's
ex
gonna be all of it at once. It's one event.
no, exactly. It could have just been 20 bronze weapons. My luck, that would have been what it was. So
Yeah.
like you said, it's not that big of a loss. Now, if they started slashing more and more, I could see an argument. But at the moment, it's okay.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
the biggest hot
There's
take I'm
prob
seeing is that people are saying, "Oh, they did no changes to the base." Like, well, they want you to buy the pass, and 5K to versus like, if they said, "Oh, it should upgrade 10K," it's like, well, they just that kind of demoralizes the point of the regular Mark Pass then, because the point of the Mark Pass, regular Mark Pass, is more enhancement points, faster leveling up of your characters for summon boards, and what else was the other one? Oh, artifacts.
the other, yeah, artifacts, the guaranteed orange artifacts.
But yeah, the main thing I see at the pass is that big boost in character points. 10K difference in regular versus a little bit for a month straight of not just for one event, but for the entire months of events is pretty significant. That's like what, 80K more than you wouldn't have, something like that on estimate, if, depending on how many events there are.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, so that's.
I mean, eventually. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I
Sorry.
was gonna say that's good enough to get you going. Like you don't have to buy every single month pass every single month, $5 a month. Just buy it here and there. If
Yeah,
you
no,
can.
exactly. Yeah, if you like the game, if you want to support it, if you're more serious into building units and you're just trying to build outside your faves, if you have too many faves, Mog Pass is definitely worth it if you enjoy playing the game. If you feel like, oh, it's just pay to win, that I would suggest probably just putting Tfue down at this point. I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but if you can't either go the free to play route or you don't want to do the Mog Pass route, which I know some would argue it's pay to win and you're not having a good time with it, but you had a good time with it before or whatnot, maybe just say, okay, it was a good run. I liked playing the game while I had a chance, but I would just suggest looking for another game at that point
And I have to say to that is
because,
goodbye. Don't, no one cares. No one's gonna miss you.
sheesh. But yeah, like I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be like, oh, just throw money at it and make it work. No, if you're having issues, you want to continue being free to play.
And yeah,
Don't pull on everything. Don't build everything. Like
yeah,
I
just
still have Pain unbuilt. I have her LD. I haven't built her. I know she's good. I just don't have the points to allocate for her. So I've left her on the bench, unbuilt.
that reminds me
If
of who I have on the bench. I still have the full kit for. I have Ursula full kit, but I never touched her.
I made the mistake and I built her, so yeah, I've had a lot of people jump on me and tell me how wrong I am and how great of a unit she is, and I don't doubt she offers some good auras and utility, but compared to a lot of other units that I did try to compare to her utility wise, not exactly her niche, not her debuffs and all that, I got roasted. But it's true, she's, unless you absolutely love Ursula or you love Young, like I did. I pulled because, Young's is her father, and he's in the animation. I was like, oh, I want Young. No, big mistake. Don't wait. I'd say wait till she gets a force weapon. Oh, but don't do that, Zodi. You don't want to go with the wait strategy. Well, you can't pull for everyone either.
Yeah,
You're not going to have any resources left.
most of these
And yes,
characters, you will just look at their kit and then look at what's coming next. I mean, majority of people kind of took a guess, like, okay, if I'll pull for Ursula, once I see what the C90 era, like these new like characters are going to be like, and rightfully so, a lot of people who did pull for her is like, okay, I kind of regret pulling for her because yeah, they didn't. I don't see many people talking about her, and I didn't see any
well,
people like in screenshots or content clearing use her outside of her own event.
I only used her on tier 8 because she was one of the only, I think she was a crystal requirement. Like she fulfilled the crystal requirement on tier 8, the left gate with Theodore of all ones. I didn't do that on purpose. I wasn't trying to do an after years team. I swear. But I used her because she was one of the only units I had at the time. And I also threw Yida on that team and that cleared that fine. I don't even remember the orb condition at this point. I think she fulfilled it. But that's the only time I really used her outside her event, and that's not a good run for a unit I nearly pitied. So yeah, don't. If you like the character, definitely go for them. If you like too many characters around the same time, pick and choose. don't pull for them all. And don't also say, oh, but I don't like foresight. Oh, that, don't tell me, oh, pull for them later. No, in this case, I would say pull for them later. It's like the whole Quistis thing. It was good to have her. She was there to beat her Lufenia. Are you gonna get use of her until level 90? No. I got roasted for telling people like, hey, she's a lot, it's great value to go for her during Yuri, because she has a lot of utility during that era and she's actually usable. Versus right now, she's usable, but there's gonna be the warp bosses and global. There or no, actually that meta that or not meta, that era has already begun. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good luck with that. No more delaying for like 3 months, but hey, I never really played the delay cheese myself outside of maybe turn deletion or whatnot. But sometimes it doesn't hurt to tell people on global, like, hey, you might not want to pull for it. It's not that we're trying to be snooty. It's not that we're trying to tell you, oh, pull later. I know I did that with Questus, but you don't want to be filling your roster up with units that aren't going to help you fulfill a lot of orb conditions, are going to work in a lot of party comps, and then you're going to cry you can't do content because you couldn't pull for this character that can fulfill, a tank role, or this character that can do, this niche, or a or a poison niche or something like that. Because some of those HP poisons are going to become useful pretty soon as well.
Yeah,
Because
I
there's
think we're
like
getting off topic
Yitas
though.
and that. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. All I'm trying to say is don't ever feel obligated to pull for something just because it's the shiny new thing. Try to evaluate what you have. I'm sorry if I went
Yeah,
on a tangent like that, but that's sort of a pet peeve of mine of people
it's okay.
building things, building everything, and then they cry they can't complete content because they pulled too much or they built too much
I'll just put a very
or
big
they do.
disclaimer in the title. It says very. This is gonna be just like discussion and or podcast style, so it's fine.
Oh, I mean, you can cut off that
I
section
mean,
if
I don't
you
know
want
how to
to.
even edit, so I'm not editing. I don't even know how to do that, so we're keeping all of this
Fair.
in.
I apologize about ranting in
That's
your
okay.
podcast, but that's just like a pet peeve of mine is people like, oh, I don't want foresight. I'm gonna pull on everything, and then I have no resources, and I'm gonna cry about it. It's like, okay, well, we gave you a warning, you didn't
Yeah.
take it, so that was sort of my tangent. Maybe it didn't make that much sense, and it probably won't make as much sense listening back to it. But that was my rationale behind my
I
my
mean,
tangent. So I'm
yeah,
sorry to
I
cut into
think the
your
more of
podcast.
what you were trying to say is, if correct me if I'm getting incorrect, is that don't pull for Kane if you are unsure if you need him or not. Because for starters, it
Correct.
doesn't look like he's going to be very specific for or needed for the fight. But we'll get into the actual mechanic of what the fight even or what the reveal mechanic is for the fight, the new Shiryu
Yeah,
fight. So
basically.
yeah,
Yeah. Just the concise thing is that if you don't think it's going to work in your team comp, don't pull for him. Don't go
yeah,
for it because it's a shiny new thing. Don't waste all your points on characters you pull on the side that you're never going to use.
and most of the
Be
time
thrifty.
most of the time the mechanics for these early like new weapons and difficulty are usually somewhat generic. Like they
Yeah.
don't make them specific unless they really. I mean, they did that a couple of times, and they got a lot of players complaining and giving them negative criticism about it, and they
Yeah.
took a break from that, and the game became a little too easy. But I think they need to just ease people into the new difficulty first, and then they can slowly, over time, make things a little bit more specific to
Yeah.
entice people to pull for a certain character or not.
I agree. That seemed to be how the LD era was going, and then we got a lot of those heavy hitters. So we'll see how this goes. I'll just say that. I'm not disputing what you said. I'm hoping it's the ease in. I am hoping they learn some lessons from mid-level 90, because we're at the middle of it now, which is weird. We're past the middle.
Yeah,
We're towards the late level 90 era. It's
yeah,
interesting how fast they pumped it out, but
mm-hmm,
I always felt like it's a stopgap era. But go ahead if you want to
yeah.
change to the
So
next thing. I don't blame you. I don't want to get too hung up on character enhancements and whatnot.
So yeah, so with the new difficulty, they're going to have a similar mechanic, similar to like Lifinia orbs, where they have like guaranteed hits. So guaranteed hit. So no more Layla.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
no more turn jumping and healing. I
kind of
mean,
sucks for who built Edge, I guess.
ah, no, that's true. I did throw about 100 tickets at him. I did get his LD. I was gonna build him,
I
but
knew it was like, I want Edge too. It's like, and then it's like, wait, hold on. I feel like I have an inkling feeling guaranteed hits are going to be more prevalent in the future. And
yeah,
yeah, this is going to be common. Then yeah, this is the way of like they realizing Layla, Galoof, Hedge are probably going to be are going to be too good for tanking. I think that's just their way of. I don't think it's going to be all the fights, but it's going to be
yeah,
something similar. I think it might be just their way of trying to push Way of Light for this fight at least.
gonna do it for a couple events because I mean they did that after like everyone's favorite one dimension. When Paladin Cecil got, they pushed a lot of Holy Immune, Holy Absorb. You still
Mm-hmm.
could function in some of those fights if you had the right team comps. But I never ran it, but I never ran it like that. But like you said, I don't see it being a huge issue. Like even outside her dodges, yeah, Layla has medium damage. I wouldn't call it necessary.
It's on the
I've seen
low
some
end at
units hit.
this point for C90
Yeah,
characters.
yeah, no,
And
no, I agree.
yeah, her
But she still has some utility in her kit,
yeah
so I wouldn't discount her
this
entirely.
yeah just but if she's gonna work for fights that aren't guaranteed hits, but like I guess the only way I guess you can still use her for this fight. Just make sure
I,
to use the upcoming mechanic to stop the force gauge, there or at least the force effect or the force ability, or kill them before the bosses get to that point. Or just
no,
have
agreed.
what's it called? Just bring Way of Light call ability or something to help with the damage mitigation for that point. But
Yeah, at this point,
yeah,
I would just say bring Warrior of Light in general. If you have his LD, take advantage of it.
yeah, use
If
bring
you don't
Heal
have
Orb
his
for
EX
him.
built though, then yeah, use him as a call.
So yeah, the next thing they said was the bosses will use powerful abilities during the force time and insta kill anyone under a certain HP threshold, like we said farther back ago. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's their way of probably indirectly nerfing Zac, specifically only Zac, because he's been appearing a lot. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of data of Zac being
I
used.
wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I think majority of it's just because he's popular as hell.
Yeah, no, no, no. I don't hate Zach at all. I just didn't get his BT. But yeah, no, he definitely was a staple in a lot of people's teams for that BT
His
effect
his
alone.
BT effect is just good. It boosts his like his DPS portion by a ton, and boosts the lesser portion of his kit to a point to where yeah, it's really good to the point where like the bosses can't touch your team anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely in the top. I wouldn't, I don't know
I
who
think
I'd consider number one
he's still probably
because
top of the what's it called
I think he's still at
rank
100 or 99 at
99,
Ultima.
98, Ultima. Yeah,
Not that you necessarily want to go off of that, but that gives you a
that's
good
just
indicator about how
yeah,
useful he is.
just how
But
popular he is. Yeah,
exactly. It's just yeah, he's definitely in the top three, and I would even argue still, and I know I say this a lot, you hear me say this a lot, I would say Locke is still decent for his niche. Not damage. Not damage. He does have a good HP damage, but well, that's a discussion for another day. I don't want to go on a tangent again. I apologize if I'm doing that sort of now. But defense ignore is good. Don't underestimate that. But yeah, definitely I had to squeeze that in there for the Lock fans, the two Lock fans out there, myself included. But don't underestimate him. Don't underestimate the rest in the kit, other than defense ignore, and don't underestimate Zach's ability. But yeah, they definitely want to nerf him, and they want to stop people from using him and move on and pull for other things. I can definitely see that. Like they want people to go for Warrior of Light, but at this point, I would say a decent amount of the community should have his BT. Not trying to blindly assume everyone has Warrior of Light, but he has had a rerun before during the level 80 era, and he had his original debut in the level 70. So there's a chance the player base should have it if you're not re-rolling your account, like I know some people have. But
I think it's just one of those BTS that it was nice to have when it came out, but it was just during the time when it did came out. There's just it wasn't needed. Like it's when the BT weapons first started coming out, but now there's
True.
this huge gap of when his BT was even last seen, and I guess last time people used Ray of Light was when he got his LD boards, and his damage and battery is just okay.
Yeah, no. His shield is stupid though. You
Yeah,
you stick him with Sieran, you're never gonna die. They're probably gonna find a way around that. I bet you the enemy force gauge is gonna cut through something to do with shields. They would have to.
or just
Because it would
yeah.
just be Sierra and Warrior of Light, some great DPS or somebody that fulfills the condition. It would be GG, and I don't think they would want something like that to happen unless it's going to take them a couple events to fix that.
But yeah,
Because they gave him power too. It's not like Warrior of Light doesn't have some power behind his moves. I am surprised how much damage he was doing off his LD and his EX and his skill too. I thought he would have just done, low damage, good utility, good auras. No, he has good auras, decent damage, really high damage depending on what his skill is,
yeah,
and
his damage looks
decent
pretty
auras.
good now with
It's
his rework.
it's
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 good
really
for
good.
current content, but yeah,
Yeah. It's not like, Zac levels, but he didn't have to be
it's
Zac levels.
no,
That
no,
shield is
he's a yeah,
stupid good.
it's like
He's a
Forty
tank,
mentioned
first of
like
all.
a couple of days ago. Zach is a DPS unit with tanking capabilities. That's the best way to describe him.
I agree. I actually agree with that. That he's the DPS with tanking capabilities, but he's
Yeah,
supposed to be played as a provoker that gets
yeah.
more bonuses once he provoked an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be his niche. I mean, the only other way I could see countering him is just
Kill him with
disable
the
lock,
or just
lock
with
immune.
or just use these new mechanics like they did with the 6-man and the current one, which is
Yeah,
if your HP's under a certain threshold, you just insta die. But yeah,
true.
going back to the bosses, generic floating eyes. I'm not a fan of these of them using literally the stock mobs from
I
the
am
beginning
not
of the
either.
game. It just
I
looks
it's
so
so
less
boring.
intimidating. It's
It
like,
is.
hey, you remember these bosses from when the game first came out?
Yeah, it's like how the latest FEODs have had just like the standard stock enemies, like the
Yeah.
what did we have? We had like the
I don't know, the Transcendence
behemoth, and then
boss.
we had
Oh yeah, the
the
heretics. The Transcendence fights, I'm fine with the models with the giant turkeys. But
oh,
yeah,
I didn't mind those. I thought
the
I got
heretics were
chicken fight
just
vibes from that, but
yeah,
no,
the
that was
heretic
I
fight
thought
is
that was
just
funny.
reused like based. I don't know if they're trying to get nostalgia, but probably not. It's just a lot of old bosses that we've seen hundreds of times at this point,
Yeah, if you're a day one player, you've definitely seen them.
multiple times, too many
Oh
times.
man.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
way too many times. So it's like, oh, not you again.
so
How
with
many, basically, how many times do we have to teach you a lesson, whatever enemy?
yeah, all right. So with force, so their force gauge effect is going to be dealing HP poison, and has 3 levels to it. And under a specific amount of HP, they're going to do that annoying feature, which I completely forgot, which was annoying, which they will paralyze a target if they are attacked, which sounds stupid. So I'm gonna bring Lena.
Oh, I'm
And
bringing Luna too.
the other thing is, range force attacks will nullify enemy force effects. So if you want this, I guess if you want this fight to be less intimidating, bring a cane with a force weapon.
Agreed.
And yeah, so
Although,
I think we already touched up about this a little while ago, but yeah.
why would they stick, I mean, not Lena. Why would they stick Warrior of Light on an event where they're sort of saying, hey, take Lena with you, unless they're gonna
Void
force
of
the
Light
debuff on
has
you.
the that was a debuff evasion on himself.
I didn't know he had that actually.
Yeah, it's on
That
his.
is,
I think it's like a generic buff on his skill too. But yeah, I think there's that,
that-
and I'm not. I'm pretty sure that's from what it is. His evasiveness.
but yeah,
But
the point I was gonna say, this will be super quick. Go ahead, go
mhm.
ahead. I don't want to cut you off there. You're the host.
I was gonna say that it's just that I think the mechanic of if you attack them, they're gonna paralyze you. So I don't think Way of Light's evasiveness is gonna work only if he attacks. But yeah.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, why are they basically say take Len on an event where Warrior Light's on it, and his shield is dictated by initial Brave gain? I don't know. That just seems kind of weird to me, but we'll see how it plays out. That's why I was saying, do they force it on you? Because if they, some enemies would force a debuff on you regardless of having debuff immunity. I think what was those enemies? I don't remember whose Lifinia it was. I don't want to say it was Arciella's, but it could have been Arciella's. It would
My
have like the fly ads, and it would force a debuff on you. You could bring
oh
Lena, it would
yeah,
dispel that, and then it would force its debuff. If these enemies do that, then I can see it Lena still being a good choice for initial break, not for cheesing it.
my only
So that
guess for this fight is because Warrior of Light will help you deal with mitigating at least all or majority of the force ability damage that they're going to do.
oh no, absolutely. You'd probably want him or somebody comparable.
Yeah, because
And if you're gonna bring Zach, I good luck.
we don't know
Good
how
luck.
much of like the force gauge is going to fill, like how fast. If it's going to be really prevalent throughout the entire fight, then yeah, Warrior of Light is going to be very very important with his LD
Agreed.
effect. Yeah, but I think we
Like the
talked
only
about.
other
Oh yeah, great. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was gonna say the only one I could see comparable to Warrior Light is Snow, but he's not gonna give you a shield for the party. He's just gonna give you HP damage reduction, and they could ignore that because sometimes they've
Yeah,
had that. So we'll see. Go ahead
yeah.
with what you were gonna say.
I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, but just like some of the reworks. So the impression, I think we mostly talked about the impression so far. Word of Light, you like his? Did you look at their video of his rework?
Yes, no, he looked impressive. That's why I was saying he did way more damage than I anticipated.
Yep.
I know, of course, there's a catch to it, and you don't want him to be taking too many turns because you don't want to be eating through all his abilities. And no, please do not unequip any speed passives. You don't need to do that to
Yeah,
play the
we will.
game.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But he looked really solid for what I was anticipating him to get. Mog, what was your impressions on Mog? I sort of said about that. I thought he, like you said, he
Damage is
looked very
consist.
decent,
Yeah, damage
very
is more
consistent.
consistent. Does a lot more damage. Probably he's gonna have a lot more party utility and auras to help the party.
Yeah. Kane sounds good. We got to see more of him, but I bet he's going to be really, really
Yeah.
solid choice. The one I'm concerned about, and this one hits home because
Pinello.
I'm a fanboy. Pinello, I'm hoping I'm wrong about her.
I
I
think
want to see her in action. I'm
I
going to test her out
yeah,
with
but I
my
think it's
maxed
gonna
out
be
Ultimate
fine.
Dagger.
I feel like it's gonna be
Yeah.
fine. It's her. I don't think she's there to just be doing a ton of damage. I think she's there
No, she's
to.
not. It's
I mean, yeah,
utility.
it's good.
Did they probably didn't leak anything about her
No,
utility
no
yet, did
info
they?
about the actual reworks or anything, or any of the above. So even just Warrior of Lights BT Plus was even released. So we're all in the dark. We'll find out in like 4 hours, on like 4-ish hours with the trailer, and then everything else. The last bit of info dump on all
Yeah.
of this.
I'm just excited to see what she got, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use her. I'm gonna use her because I have her built fave. Um, I got the maxed out dagger, so I'll let the community know how good I think she is. I bet she'll be a sleeper hit. I'm gonna call it right now. I think Mog's gonna be the best looking one on paper. Warrior Light's gonna have the probably one of the better utilities out of all the group, but
yep.
I think Penelo is probably my hot take. She's gonna be the sleeper hit of the group. That everyone's
I
gonna
think my
abandon
hot
and
take
not
for
build.
this is gonna be Warrior of Light's BT shield, or just shield in general. Is gonna be just bad because I from the trailer it's just 55k. But
Mhm.
pop I want to be proven wrong that his shield can get even bigger, or at least a safe amount to where like you don't have to be spamming the abilities. But at the same time, I don't really mind. That's what he's there for. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like I said, if you stick Sierran with him,
yeah.
he's gonna not die, or at least his shields are gonna be way way more bulky and be able to take more damage. So
I know
there's
that
always that to
his
keep in
BT
mind.
effect gives you like some sort of regen, depending on how much shield you have. But if the
Yes.
BT plus effect actually boosts your shield by a tremendous amount, and to make that regen basically go from 0 brave to cap brave, like literally 200k brave, like we're
Yeah,
seeing currently, then yeah, that'd be pretty. I'd say that's good enough. That's more than enough if his BT plus elevates him to that level. But yeah.
agreed.
And so the last two characters, Prompto and Keys, they aren't getting touched, but they're just getting force effects,
I'm
which
hoping I'm hoping his is good. I'm hoping Kai's because he's my all-time favorite. I hope
yeah.
that his force effects aren't going to be outdated whenever he gets his force weapon. Well, they touch him up
Mm-hmm.
then, but still, I'm hoping he can be elevated to being useful because I've used him a lot, not as much as, but I've used him a lot in my team comps as well launch just because I like him. And I like the utility he brings to the party, which, yeah, can be launched, but some of it's delay. He has sap in his kit. He has decent AoE. I wouldn't say he has the best. And his EX is usually up after 2 abilities. So he's got great utility outside of launch. I just think a lot of people just look at him as a launch unit and say, oh, well, Selfie's the better choice. That might be so for launches, but for the rest of his kit, it's not too shabby compared
Yeah.
to Selfie either. But I'm just hoping he gets good. I'm sorry if I went on a tangent there about
That's
him
okay.
too.
All
But yeah,
right.
I'm excited. Prompto, who knows what he'll get? He'll probably be
Probably,
good.
I don't think he's gonna. He's not in the list of anyone of the rework characters. So I think he's just getting force effects. So those two characters are just as is. They already have
Yeah, no,
C90s,
no.
so this could be part of the event. They could
Yeah,
be
I
like
knew they
field
weren't getting
characters.
reworked, but did they ever go into detail quite what a force effect does for a character?
No,
Or is it
so
just a stat boost or
I have no idea. So we'll maybe find out. Wait. Oh, wait. Here it is. Wait. No, never mind. That's just for a crowd. Okay, yeah. So we have no idea, or at least I'm not too sure what it is. But
because the
yeah,
vibes I got from him, and again, this is just my observation, I could be completely wrong, is they were sort of akin to character board points, character boards originally, but a little different for more, force gauge
if
based stuff.
that's so, then that's gonna be interesting. But I probably will just bench Prompto, go with Keys or Mark Pinello. But yeah,
That's a smart choice. No Prompto hate here. That's just a smart choice. At this
yeah.
point, Prompto has had his good run. He had a good level 90 to start with, but I think the bench is probably the best place for him at the moment.
And also evasion takes might get cooked in this fight. But moving on,
Exactly.
uh, they did tell us what the FR ability is for Kane, so it seems to be hopefully a big beefy AoE ranged attack. It's gonna brave heal the party and it's gonna lay targets by 1 turn and then launch them with instant turn rate. So if you use the FR ability, Kane's gonna go immediately again. So that's actually, you can probably go into that and then probably go back into the air and then hide with the Zodi.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying earlier, because I know I mentioned a bit earlier about how the FR effects would work.
Yeah.
They probably, again, we're in the dark about a lot of this right now because we still haven't seen anything for Kane. But I wonder if the effect will still be active while he's in the air or whatnot. I know that
I
sounds
think
like
so. I think it's
I
just
think as
like,
well.
I think the time goes down by every player's turn. You're only your turns.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but his party force time effect for the party seems good. It gives HP damage bonus increases when dealing range wave damage. So you want to bring someone with range for this with Kane. So if you have a range team, cool. And it's gonna, or during launching a target. So if you bring Selfie or Keys, you're gonna be happy with that.
Yeah.
It's gonna, you get even more damage.
And that's another reason why he's an enticing pull. But that's
Yeah,
besides the point. I think again he sounds solid. I think that people who are running a lot of ranged units like are gonna love it.
yep.
I think even Lena is gonna benefit greatly from that since we were mentioning her earlier.
I think the only
Even
thing,
though
actually, wait, would you? Does her actual, because the way you play Lennon now is a little different than you would play her before, where you just only use her HP plus plus attack, isn't it?
yeah, now that's one of the it's still a good defense ignoring thing because it's not affected if I'm not mistaken because this is how I used to run her when I
Yeah.
did the Jagron Lena thing. I don't think it's affected by HP reduction or
Okay,
anything that affects
so
HP. I think it just cuts through enemies
so
because I
yeah,
always said
then
her and Jagron were like a hot knife. So It's still a good defense ignore option. It's not her hardest hitting skill anymore. Not that that really matters. It's still hard hitting for Lena for a support like her,
She just
but
won't
her EX
benefit
does a
off of
lot.
this like a force time effect because it's I think it specifically says range wave damage, so it's not going to actually because she just does HP damage, not any wave
Correct.
hits. Yeah,
It's based off of your party's
yeah,
HP.
party
So yeah,
HP.
it's not gonna affect that. And if
Yeah,
it does, hey, that's really good. But like you said, it's his brave, so
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna affect it. But her EX,
it's
though, that's gonna benefit from it tremendously.
yeah, and then I think we briefly went over his BT effect, which is pretty generic, but I think is pretty important mentioning about FR
No,
abilities and
absolutely.
BT effects. But FR abilities can be used in a BT phase, but will not affect the force time. So you can get another use out of it and get basically a free big old beefy attack in during the BT effect, which is probably going to be a good way to to get all the your skill use to try and maximize damage because I think the only downside within BT Plus is that you sometimes have to time when you want to use like your LD to get a free skill usages or EX sometimes, and sometimes you just don't have the luxury and you just need to BT right then and there, and then you're left with a having to like HP plus or Brave plus and not do as much damage as you could have done.
Yeah, like Sephiroth or something
Yeah,
like that. Like you could time it after an EX cast, but
or
like you
yeah,
said,
a lot of characters have
sometimes
that
you
kind
just
of
can't do
problem.
that.
Yep,
True.
just too many BT turns to use, but that's not a problem. That's just uh beggars can't be true. Not I just there's still too much damage that we have. I think
Yeah. Yeah, no, 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 I agree.
yeah,
I completely agree.
it's kind of like had a brain fart there. But yeah, his BT effect is brave HP damage dealt up, overflow, and HP damage cap up, which seems generic. It's good. It's probably going to last a long time. If they add any more, awesome. But
No,
yeah,
agreed.
you like
I
his Oh yeah, go ahead. You like?
Oh, no, 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 you go ahead.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say
I was
yeah, because we
gonna
already
say,
talked about the BT effect already. So I was gonna say you like his new skin.
oh, that one, the Holy Dragoon. I think it's all right. I see a lot of people trashing on his old design. Are they not a fan? I know it looks kind of plain, but are they not a fan of like desert attire? I thought that always looked kind of cool. He looks like some type of
Yeah,
wanderer.
it completely changes his look.
Yeah, but the Holy Dragoon, I also think that I like the colors. I dig it. I know it's an after years thing. I never beat after years, so I can't speak like I'm some expert on after years. Only played it for a bit and went, I don't know about this game. I'm not gonna trash it either because I still haven't played it long enough to give it a fair shake.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it looks cool.
I just
And
need to see the in-game model for a because we only see the art, just the regular art in the from the pictures. So yeah,
no, agreed. If I'm gonna get a costume though, I probably, unless that one looks really cool in game, I'm probably gonna go with the man or whatever it's called, when he's supposed to be like mentoring Theodore, that outfit of his.
mm-hmm.
I'll probably go with that one instead, but I do think the Holy Dragoon looks cool. And plus, it was also in Duodecim, and I like Duodecim, so maybe I'll go for that one instead. But hey, I'm gonna get either him or Pinello, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the character skins. I think they did a good job on that one. Um,
But
but
yeah,
yeah, that's my thoughts on the
last
costume.
last bit of it is cryo enshrined wheel weapon. So they gave us the FR weapon of it. So it's gonna give Party Brave Heal by Imbrave and the AoE Thunder magic attack. So standard stuff. Self after battering party. So that's the force time effect and increases HP damage bonus. Wait, this is self after party. That's some okay. Either yeah, that's some weird translation, but it's probably
I mean,
Japanese to English for this is probably weird too. So I don't blame Zeta.
yeah, it's probably super direct. It's like the one thing about saying it's the new standard, replace the EX. I thought about that more. I think they mean is that's going to be the base weapon you have equipped if you don't have an
Yeah.
ultimate weapon.
So
So it's one of those.
this,
It's kind of a
yeah.
very direct translation.
So yeah, this is gonna be it's basically battery to the party and HP damage bonus to the party during the force time. So it seems pretty generic. And for the party, she's gonna give increased HP damage bonus while dealing Thunder Brave damage. During the force time, party Brave hero body damage dealt via force ability on enemy and / ally turn. So she's gonna be doing off turn damage. That's cool. I guess we'll find out more of like what she can do once we see her actual trailer and when we get more info for her.
Yeah, no, she's definitely gonna be a promising unit, and hopefully, if Lael gets his BT plus soon, I could see her pairing well with him as an
Yeah,
alternative to like Geist or something, because eventually Geist is gonna get benched. But she looks pretty good. Am I gonna pull for her? Probably not. But I'm gonna wait and see what she C5. But at the same time, these weapons you gotta pick and choose, like I said earlier. And it's not because I'm saying the unit's bad, because a lot of times, when people say, "Oh, I'm not pulling for a unit," a lot of people automatically think I'm saying, they're not good, they're bad, they don't provide utility. How dare you insult my Ursula? But it's more, is it gonna work for my team comp? So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I don't want to go into the same view, but it's
yeah,
just more like I'm curious to see what she offers.
yeah. I mean, you might change your mind after seeing who the character we work alongside her is. But so the last bit of it is we're gonna get free polls for the last bit from now until the end of November, which is nice. Daily Cactuar we give 6 daily tokens, so
Oh,
even
that's a
bigger
considerate boost.
incentive to do it. And 44 stones will appear in the exchange shop, so even bigger incentive to do that. So even another source of 4 stones. So you don't have to just complete events, and well, you need to do
Oh,
both
nice.
and this, and that's another source. So there's 2 sources of getting 4, or 3 sources now. Power stones, which we don't recommend using all of it or any of them, and unless you're very close to completing a weapon. Daily tokens, and the Shinryu difficulty gives you 20.
Yeah, I can see it. Actually, I can see it not being that big of an issue anymore, even for people that don't pay for, like we were saying earlier, excuse me, Mog Pass. I could see this being all right now. I
Yeah,
know this is a limited time thing for the 6 Cactuar tokens, but at least you have an option now to get, excuse me, more force weapon tokens.
yeah. Hopefully they just keep it like that because it'd be nice. But also this now gives a bigger competitor for what was it? The tickets in the shop now. But who knows?
True. I
But
never
yeah,
went for the tickets and for the either the EX tokens or I know a lot of people go for the tickets though.
yeah. I stopped
And that
getting
makes
the EX
sense now
tokens
for the
because I have Whale Pass, so I could go for the tickets. But last part, I think we already. Oh wait, no, we didn't cover this. This is nice of them. They're getting 30k character points will appear in Act 3, Chapter 1, Part 1 Co-op Shop. Wait, I think that's a typo. I don't think it's supposed to be Act Part 1, Chapter 1, Part 1. I think that's supposed to be the new chapter for like Chapter 8, Part 1.
Yeah,
So the co-op is going to have 30k character points, which is very nice.
that's incredibly generous.
Yeah, and then last one is cycle quests are going to be 3 times instead of 2 times, so that's good. So
So it's
fast
gonna be
leveling up
2 times for
characters
the cycle quest.
3 times.
Nice. Oh, 3 times?
Yep.
Good. Because I was concerned that was gonna go away. So that's
So
actually
yeah,
really
reward,
good.
and then lastly, rewards for the stream was going to be the 1 4 stone. So you have 1 stone to use at either level 11 or yeah, basically level 11 for the Force Awakenings, and you get 4 high power stones. So you can get somewhat high on the weapon. You'll be able to break it 1/3 of the way through if you decide to dump all of it into Kane, and 1k gems. So a lot less gems than we are used to, but I'm okay with it if we get a head start on the materials for FR weapons.
No, agreed. As long as you're not pulling on everything, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yep.
Should not be an issue. I just say, like, if you want to try for a character and you don't absolutely want them, tickets. And if your tickets don't give it, move on to the next banner.
Yeah, right. And then the very last thing, we're just going to. I think my video is getting a little too long, but we're
My
just going
apologies.
to say, are you gonna pull for these banners or not? After I just include, or are you excited for these characters when they say their name for the reworks? Okay, so we know.
Um, sure.
Yeah. So first event, which is literally tonight, is Way of Life, Kane, Mog, Pinello. Excited for them?
I am excited for Kane. I already have all the other characters, so I'm definitely going to be pulling for him. I do have his LD, so excited.
Oh wait, that just reminds me. So that they're probably going to give Kane the new follow-up or off-turn damage treatment of triple dumps.
Probably.
So yeah, his rework is probably only going to be that and his LD. I don't think anything else is going to get changed.
I would hope they touched at least skill one or skill two because those are
Doesn't
incredibly mediocre.
doesn't
That's
skill one
one
skill
HP
two?
dump.
Oh, then they probably will. Then yeah.
If not, because I don't think he got a rework when he got his. No, he didn't.
Okay. Then yeah, it's probably going to be multiple dumps then. Um.
Yeah.
So we already talked about
Are
Royal
you-
5, Mog, and Pinello. So on the 4th of November, which is for us, is next Wednesday for me, and for you might be 3 hours ahead.
y- Yeah,
So
that's it.
Cryle and the other character which I'm pulling for is Orin.
Oh yeah, that's right. Orin's with her. I might skip her then. 'Cause I already have Orin's kit,
I
and
couldn't get Orin the second time he came around, but I'm probably gonna go for Orin here,
that would make sense.
and yeah, I'll try my luck there. If I get his LD, then cool. If I don't, if I happen to get Kryle's FR weapon along the way, cool. But I think the new character event, I think you always said who it is. Who is it?
You mean the new character? That's Braska.
Okay, what game is he from?
He's from FF10. He's Yuna's dad.
Alright, he has a funny looking hat. That's all I know about him.
It does look like a bug. I'm skipping him. I don't like him. I
I
never liked him. I know a lot of the community likes him. I'm not trying to insult people who like him. Cool for you. I hope you get him without having to pity him. I hope you get him on the.
I didn't play FF10
Yeah, so I'm
enough.
gonna
I
skip him.
only got to the beginning of the game. I have no idea who he is. But the other character on that he's featured with is Jack. So Jack is getting a finally C90. I can finally get his LD because I have
Nice.
every single part of his kit except his LD. Because the game decided to
Oh,
give me his BT when his after his LD
lucky,
left.
lucky. I see. I'm the opposite with Jack. He's one of my top faves. I wish I had his BT, so I might token that if he gets a really good rework.
Yeah, it was like during the time when like I was starting the new account, and then I got his BTs. Like I don't have his LD, I can't use him. Okay, moving on.
But yeah, we'll see how Braska plays out. He's a summoner, so hopefully he'll get something unique
That'd be
with
awesome if
his
he
kit.
actually summons something like Velafor or something else, but I'm not sure if he will.
I have a feeling I know what he could do, but since you haven't played 10, and I don't think 10's a bad game,
You
uh,
can.
it might be worth playing through, or at least looking into some of the lore, or just seeing what they give him. Because last
Okay.
thing I want to be like, oh yeah, by the way, he could have this, and then I spoil it to you, and what if he ends up having none of that?
I mean,
Like 10's a decent game. I know you have it spoiled, obviously, from Dissidia existing, but it's still worth a playthrough. It's
yeah,
still one of the better Final Fantasies narrative wise.
I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
It's kind of a slog.
Uh,
It's a worthwhile slog, but it's a slog, but it's not a bad game.
yeah. Then the mid-month BT characters, we have no idea who they are. And then the character that we talked about a couple of nights ago as a joke character of with 40 as a character that has not seen the like everyone shit talks
Paula.
him. Yeah, Pelham.
Yes, I'm so happy actually that he's gonna get something. Although when I foolishly pulled for Saz and I pitied him. I didn't see a single Palom LD.
I'm fine.
So I'm hoping he's good. I'm hoping he's fantastic. I hope he gets the rework he deserves. But I don't know. They just don't seem to know how to make it work, right? Like he has potential, but every time they do something with him, they really mess him up.
He's
And then
DPS at the end of the day, which is unfortunate because a lot of characters are more appealing. I mean, the only way a DPS character is very, very appealing is if you give them shit tons of damage and make them do like 1,000,000 damage in one turn, and or off turn, or every single turn.
yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they can do for the extent of some of these LD reworks because he never had a follow up to begin with. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like they could just slap one of those on him. They could do something with his EX, I would imagine, the level
Yeah.
85, but I don't see them doing a follow up because it procs so fast. It would be always like, well, I don't think it would hurt him because he only has like what, four skills for his main DPS skill outside of his HP attack and
They're
his
probably going
EX.
to buff it up to give him more
Um,
skills. They
yeah,
they
his skill
should.
one has three skill usages.
Yeah,
Three
they
skill
gotta give him more
usages.
skills. Just it's no longer like
So,
there's like gimmick of hey, the more he uses skills, the stronger his buffs get, and the longer they last. It's like it's cool, but it's not really. It's a cool. It's an old gimmick now.
yeah, he's in a really weird spot for being a year one character, but I see potential. I'm not gonna write him off as garbage. I'm not gonna just say, oh, he's gonna be bad. No, I think he has potential. I'm
Yeah,
probably wrong though.
we'll
You can come
probably
back and roast me later.
yeah we'll probably have
But
to wait and see for this.
um
And same with
Kam
Kamari.
yeah, Kamari,
He's one of those jack of
oh
all trades kind of characters that wants to do a lot of things.
yeah, I could see him having a lot more potential than Palom, and I prefer Palom to Kamari, but I could see him being a really good, like you said, a jack of all trades, a healer, a blind unit.
Guess it all
He's
depends
got
on
potential as
yeah,
well.
it depends on what they give him and which banner he's going to be a part of. If he's a character,
Yeah,
if he's on a banner that for the BT character that a lot of people already pulled for, then that's going to be kind of an issue. But it probably won't be.
yeah,
But
because I
yeah,
could see during that cycle them rerunning Jax BT, but I don't see him
uh,
being the returning BT character because he's getting reworked on the 10th.
yeah,
Because
for
I've
the
seen a lot
first
of people,
half of the
oh,
month, yes.
yes.
Because the second half of the
Oh,
month,
yeah,
you
that's
already
true.
see, you can probably already pick out who the returning BT unit is going to be in the next event.
All right, let's see.
Yeah,
Returning BT unit. We have
alongside
Paula.
Yeah, alongside the next event is going to be Dash and Machina, so you could probably. So I'm guessing it's going to be
Oh,
Jack
yeah,
and
yeah.
Machina for the two returning BT character banners.
Yeah, I can see that too. Like you said, I don't know why I was saying about Jax. You're correct. See,
Yeah,
I did a novice mistake. But for the BT character alongside getting the rework, we have a choice between Ultimecia, Exduff, Lael, and Elnarsh. And if I'm forgetting one, I'm sorry. I'm not trying. Oh,
yeah.
Paladin Cecil.
So I think most people are probably not going to pull on the second banner because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, or probably won't focus all the resources on the new BT character because they have FR weapon and yeah, and
Yeah,
shiny new toy.
the new BT character. I'm hoping it's Yuri. I highly doubt it's Yuri. I think it's gonna be somebody like a wild card, probably not a new character, but we don't have very many choices left.
If they surprise us with two new characters, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. I'm
Heck,
hoping we get back to the day of multiple characters a month, but I think that just seems like a pipe dream at this point. But hey, if they do it,
it'd
I'm
be
happy.
awesome if they just release Xenos for the mid month because Endwalker is coming out exactly next month.
What if what if Xenos comes out in December? What if
Cole
we
would not be happy because he doesn't like Xenos.
fair.
Yeah, but then
I'm just
yeah,
hoping that the mid-month BT is Yuri or Shalata. I'll just throw my head out and if it's not them, oh well. I'll be sad, but I can move past it. But we don't have very many choices left that are in the NT roster other than like a brand. Oh yeah, for your sake, would you want Gabranth next, or would you hope it's somebody
mm,
else?
someone else because I want to save more gems and then I can I has something special planned for that.
Fair. No, understandable. So yeah, then just hope it's Yuri and Zodi can pity him.
Yeah. Then last two events, we have Dash and Machina,
Dash, I'm
And
excited to see what they're gonna do. I'm gonna pull for him because I don't have him on JP.
yeah, Machina. If I
I do.
don't have
I
his
have his
BT,
complete kit.
so I will. It's probably going to be just C90
Yeah.
fodder for me. And last character is just Barrett with by himself. I'm assuming that means another character is going to be with them. If that's a new character, then that's cool.
No, that actually does sound likely because they don't just release characters who have had multiple runs.
Yeah.
Unless there's some type of LC I'm not thinking of that could be around, which well, there isn't. Because the next LC
Wait.
after Shelk was what's her name? Ursula, right? Or am I jumping the gun there?
Wait. I think they did release the schedule. It's. Oh wait, no. That is. Wait. It's six. Wait. They did release all the translated names. It's. We have Act 3, then Crowd and Try and Will, then Part 2, then Six Warrior Banner one half. I don't know what that means. One and two, or I don't know. And Try and Will Banner slash BT Rerun Banner. Wait, hold on. Oh wait. Oh yeah, Jack is with Part 2. Then we have the mid-month BT banners with the Six Warrior Crest. Then we have another Enshrine Will, and then we have a Raid Boss banner with the
So,
BT slash BT rerun banner.
mm,
Huh? Okay, that's gonna be weird. I guess we just have to wait and see. It might be a new
true.
character. Doesn't seem like it.
Oh yeah, Tifa's another option that could be a BT, by the way.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it's Tifa. Maybe that's why they added Barrett, so everyone can have their FF7 teams.
But
But
yeah.
Barrett's just in a weird spot. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with him. I'm also betting, like you said, that next OPOP after they have it, they're probably gonna announce another character. If not, oh well. But I
Yep.
could see Barrett being with the new release, to be honest.
Yeah, they'll announce it in mid-month, so it should be interesting.
Oh, unless Barrett is an intertwined will and he's getting a force weapon.
That would be very cool. Oh wait. No, wait, no. It's Raid banner. Never mind. It's not in Trine
Oh
Will.
yeah, you said raid then. Yeah,
Like, I mean, he still could
then
give
I
one then. But
yeah, yeah, no, true. He could because it's still an event. Yeah, I could see that being a possibility then.
yeah. But
That's actually exciting then.
we went through all the content so far, and that was recording is very long. But oh well, this would be a very long video. It's gonna take a long time to upload, but I don't care. We got plenty
I
of
mean,
time to kill.
I'm sorry if I went on some of my side tangents. Next time I'll try to be a little less ADHD and more focused.
That's okay. This is fun.
I
I'll
agree.
just
I
name this like a podcast. It'd be like I just do this once every like new content update or big content update. So I don't do this often. So it'd be fine. This is just something special.
Yeah, this is my first time doing something like this too, besides that one pole battle against 40. So it's sort of a new experience to me. So hopefully over time I'll get more concise. But I definitely enjoyed my time doing this with you and going over content. If you want to invite me again, I'm always up for it.
Yeah, sure. Don't follow my channel because
For
I
sure.
don't upload enough. Follow Zodi channel and Twitch and give them a. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at my Twitch, which would be my name, ZodiacalVoid. So just together, it's got a picture of Kais. You should be able to find me there. As for on YouTube, I also have a channel under Zodiacal Void. Last thing I uploaded was a global content, one of the global exclusive contents they had, and I'm gonna be uploading more like runs. I'm hoping to showcase some more Jiggeron stuff. But yeah, you could follow me at both those areas, and I'd be more than happy to have your guys' support and follows. And even if you don't want to, that's cool. Just check me out. That's all I ask.
Yeah, follow him because he does more stuff than I do. He streams and makes videos while I just occasionally make clear videos like once every like 3 months. So yeah, he does more stuff than I do. So yeah,
I
thank you
mean,
for coming on with talking about this with me, Zodi.
oh, you're welcome, and don't underplay what you do for the community. You're very active as moderators with you 40 and his stuff. So yeah, don't undervalue yourself, Blobs. But I appreciate the extension from you. It really means a lot.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.